Yeah, good morning, everybody. Here today we will go back to the beginning of the play. Okay? So we'll go over Act 1 once more, right? Thus far, what we've done is we've gone over parts of Act 2 of the play. Now we'll go back to Act 1 so that we have a record, right? So here, the play that is being discussed is, of course, William Shakespeare's Julius Caesar, right? Shakespeare has written different types of plays, right? He's written histories, comedies, and tragedies. So we can think of this as a tragedy, right? So examples of comedies would be A Midsummer Night's Dream by William Shakespeare, okay? And there are four great tragedies, that is Macbeth, King Lear, and a couple of others, okay? So we can think of this as a tragedy. Now, what Shakespeare did was he read, he got his material. He got the material for his plays from other books, okay, which were written before him. So the whole story of Julius Caesar he got from the book called The Lives, Lives, The Lives, by the ancient Roman writer called Plutarch. Plutarch's Lives is the source of this play, right? So, as you all know, Julius Caesar was one of the great Roman generals, okay? He was a conqueror, right? He expanded the empire of Rome and he filled the coffers, he filled the treasury of Rome with the ransom that he got from his conquests. These conquests extended over much of Europe, right? Over much of Europe, right? So he was one of the great Roman generals, and he was so powerful, in fact, in Rome, that he was offered the crown. That is, he was going to be crowned the emperor of Rome. But on the day that he was to be crowned emperor, okay, his life was brought to an end by a conspiracy. Okay, by a conspiracy, the conspirators, they were seven or eight of the noblemen of Rome, right? Now, here we are in Act 1, Scene 1 of the play. And in Act 1, Scene 1 of the play, what is happening is that Caesar has returned triumphant from one of his campaigns, right? He's returned triumphant, he's emerged victorious in one of his campaigns, which was against the sons of Pompey. Pompey was another contender to the throne, right? He emerged victorious from that campaign and is now returning to Rome triumphantly. Right? So all the citizens have gathered and they're going to meet him at the gates of Rome. So here we are in Act 1, Scene 1. Scene 1 is Rome, a street in Rome. So when the curtain rises on the stage, the setting is a street of Rome. The setting is a street of Rome. Now, already in the very first scene of Act 1, we see signs of discontent. We see signs of discontent among citizens, among a few of the citizens of Rome. Most of the Roman populace, most of the Roman citizens, they are for Caesar, they support Caesar. But a few are against him, right? So, here in this scene, as I said, we see a bit of discontent which is brewing in the empire of Rome. So, first, Flavius. Flavius is one of the upper class in Rome. Flavius says, "Hence, home, you idle creatures, get you home. Is this a holiday? What? Know you not, being mechanical, you ought not to walk upon a laboring day without the sign of your profession? Speak, what trade art thou?" Right? So Flavius, as I said, is one of the upper class in Rome, and is speaking to the populace. The populace, of course, they follow different professions. For example, some may be carpenters, others may be plumbers, others may be masons, and so on and so forth. Now, all these common people, they're going to the gates of Rome to bring back Caesar from his campaign, to accompany, go in parade with Caesar. Now, Flavius, he soundly scolds them. He says, "Hence." Hence means go away from here, get away from here. "Home, you idle creatures." So, he's calling them idle. Okay? Get you home. Is this a holiday? Has it been declared a holiday today? What? Know you not, being mechanical, that you ought not to walk upon a laboring day without the sign of your profession? So the procedure in Rome was that if you were a craftsman, if you were a carpenter, a mason, etc., you had to have the sign of your profession on you on all laboring days. So people could recognize you, and they could say which profession you belong to. But on that day, none of the common people have the sign of their profession. Plumber, mason, none of them have it on them. So Flavius asked them, okay, why do you walk upon a laboring day? So has it been declared a holiday? No. So why do you walk upon a laboring day? Laboring day means, of course, one of the working days of the week, Monday to Friday. You should not walk upon a laboring day without the sign of your profession. Speak, what trade art thou? He asked one of them to tell him what profession he belongs to. First commoner says, "Why, sir, a carpenter." Marullus, that's the second of the upper class who is against Caesar. Marullus says, "Where is thy leather apron and thy rule?" Carpenters, they wear a leather apron and they have a ruler to measure the wood, right? "Where is thy leather apron and thy rule? What dost thou with thy best apparel on?" So it's a holiday. Apparently, all the commoners think, it's a holiday. They all have their best apparel. Apparel is the clothes. They all have their best clothes on, and they're going in their best attire to come and accompany Caesar back to Rome. "What dost thou with thy best apparel on?" What are you doing with your best clothes on? "You, sir, what trade are you?" So he asked Marullus asked another commoner, "What trade are you? What profession are you?" Second commoner, "Truly, sir, in respect of a fine workman, I am but, as you would say, a cobbler." Okay? "I'm a fine workman, but I'm only a cobbler." Cobbler is, of course, one who mends the shoes, right? Marullus, "But what trade art thou? Answer me directly." "A trade, sir," says the second commoner, "a trade, sir, that I hope I may use with a safe conscience." So I don't do anything, I don't cheat anyone, I don't con anyone. It's a trade that I hope I can use with a safe conscience. Nothing on my mind about my trade. The safe conscience, which is indeed, sir, a mender of bad souls. S-O-L-E-S. He's a mender of bad souls. The soul is a part of the shoe or the slipper, right? He's a mender of bad souls. "What trade thou name? Thou naughty name, what trade?" So he's already told him, but Marullus, he wants to, pummel him. Second commoner, "Nay, I beseech you, sir, be not out with me." Be not out with me means, don't be upset with me. Yet if you be out, sir, I can mend you. What means thou by that? Mend me, thou saucy fellow? You say you're going to mend me? Why, sir? Hobble you, says. So if you mend Marilus means you mend his soles, right? Thou art a cobbler, art thou? So finally Marilus gets the point. You are a cobbler, are you? He asks. Second commoner says, truly, sir, all that I live by is with my awl. AWL. That awl is that needle-like instrument which the cobblers use to pierce the soles and pull the thread through the soles. All that I live by is with my awl. AWL, he says. I meddle with no tradesman's matters. I do not interfere in other tradesmen's matters, nor women's matters. I do not interfere in women's matters, but with all. But with all. Now here it's a pun. It's not ALL. I don't meddle with all, but I meddle with all. AWL. Okay, I only use that instrument called the awl. I am indeed, sir, a surgeon to old shoes. I mend old shoes. When they are in great danger, I recover them. When the soles or the slippers or the shoes are in danger of being torn apart, I recover them. As proper men as ever trod upon neat's leather have gone upon my handiwork. As proper men as ever trod upon neat's leather. Neat, here it means ox or buffalo, is used to make shoes and slippers. Right? So what he says is, as proper men as ever trod. Trod is the past tense of tread. Tread means to walk. As proper men as ever walked upon ox leather shoes, they have gone upon my handiwork, upon my creations. Right? Flavius says, okay? But wherefore art not in thy shop today? Why aren't you in your shop today? Why dost thou lead these men about the streets? Why are you going in a gang walking about the streets upon the laboring day? Second commoner says, truly, sir, to wear out their shoes, to get myself into more work. I am leading these men about to wear out their souls so that I can have some work to do. But indeed, sir, we make holiday to see Caesar. The reason they are walking upon the streets is to greet Caesar, to see Caesar, and to rejoice in his victory. Right? Marilus asks, wherefore rejoice? What conquest brings him? What tributaries follow him to Rome? To grace in captive bonds his chariot wheels. You blocks, you stones, you worse than senseless things. Oh, you hard hearts, you cruel men of Rome. Knew you not of Pompey? So, Marilus and Flavius, they're supporters of Pompey. Pompey is one of the contenders to the throne, whom Caesar is just defeated. So Marilus and Flavius support Pompey and they're against Caesar. So Marilus asks the commoners, why do you rejoice? Wherefore rejoice? What conquest brings he home? What is he brought home from his conquest? What tributaries follow him to Rome? To grace in captive bonds his chariot wheels. Tributaries means those who give the conqueror tribute. They have to pay a ransom to the conqueror for having fought with him. They have to pay a ransom and they have to be tied behind the chariot wheels of the conquerors and be led in procession. Right? So what tributaries follow him to Rome? To grace in captive bonds his chariot wheels. And then he soundly berates the commoners. He says, you blocks, you stones, you worse than senseless things. Right? He calls them blocks, wood, blocks of earth. You stones, you worse than senseless things. Oh, you hard hearts, you cruel men of Rome. Knew you not of Pompey? Don't you remember Pompey? Many a time and oft have you climbed up to the walls and battlements. to towers and windows, yea, to chimney tops, your infants in your arms, and there have sat the livelong day, with patient expectation to see great Pompeii pass the streets of Rome. So he reminds them, many a time you have greeted Pompeii. You climbed up the walls of the streets along which his victorious procession would proceed. You climb the walls, you climb the rooftops, you climb the battlements of your houses, right? Battlement is a rooftop. You climbed upon the battlements. You even climbed up to your towers and windows and to the chimney tops of your houses, right? And there you have sat with patient expectation. You sat there patiently throughout the day, okay? To see great Pompeii pass the streets of Rome. You waited anxiously, waited for Pompeii to pass. Have you forgotten Pompeii already? And when you saw his chariot but appear in the distance, if Pompeii's chariots appeared, have you not made a universal shout? Did you not at once together shout together, right? Did you not shout together to greet Pompeii? Have you not made a universal shout that Tiber trembled underneath her banks? Tiber is the river of Rome. Tiber, the river Tiber, which runs outside Rome, trembled under her banks. Such was the noise she made when Pompey returned victorious from one of his conquests. Have you already forgotten him? That's what Marcellus is reminding them. To hear the replication of, so Tiber trembled beneath her banks, to hear the replication of your songs, to hear the echoes of your songs, to hear the echoes of your cries. Tiber itself trembled underneath her banks. Made in her concave shores. Concave is this. Made in her concave shores. Right? And do you now put on your best attire? Now do you put on your best clothes? And do you now cull out a holiday? From the week you extract a holiday. Cull out means you extract, you remove. Do you now cull out a holiday upon the working week, in the working week? And do you now strew flowers in his way that comes in triumph over Pompey's blood? Pompey's blood refers to the sons of Pompey. The sons of Pompey have been fighting against Caesar. Caesar was victorious. And now do you extract a holiday from your work, and now do you strew flowers? Strew means throw. You throw flowers in the way of Caesar, who has conquered the sons of Pompey. Be gone. Run to your houses, fall upon your knees. Fall upon your knees. Pray to the gods to intermit the plague that needs much light on this ingratitude. So he calls the commoners ungrateful people. If people are ungrateful, if the multitude is ungrateful, then according to ancient Roman mythology, God would send down a plague. Right? So Marcellus says, your ingratitude, you have already forgotten the great Pompey. Within a few days or a few weeks, you've forgotten that great man. This is ungrateful. Pray to the gods upon your knees to stop the plague that they will send on you. Right? Because you have been ungrateful. Right? Flavius, go, good countrymen, and for this fault assemble all the poor men of your sort. Assemble all the poor men of your sort. Draw them to Tiber banks. Draw them to the banks of the Tiber and weep your tears into the channel. Weep your tears into the channel. Channel is the channel through which the Tiber flows. Weep your tears into the channel till the lowest stream to kiss the most exalted shore of the water. Till the river, the level of the water, which is low now, till it rise and rise. Weep into the river. To remember Pompey, remember that great man. Right? Exeunt all the commoners. So all the commoners leave by one side of the stage. Exeunt. See whether the basest metal be not moved They vanish tongue-tied in their guiltiness. So Flavius says, their basest metal. Basest metal is what they're made of, what feelings, what emotions they have, what minds they have. They're made of the basest metal, the most worthless metal. Okay, look at their basis, look at what they're made of. They are not moved. They vanish tongue-tied in their guiltiness. They cannot say a word. They vanish tongue-tied. They cannot say a word. And they're feeling guilty for having forgotten Pompey. None of the commoners, as they leave the stage, say a single word. They all file out silently. Okay, go you down that way towards the Capitol. So Flavius tells Marullus, go down that way. Go down one street. This way will I'll go down this way. Disrobe the images. So Caesar's images, Caesar's statues have been decorated. Okay, in Rome on that day. Disrobe the images. Remove all the decorations from the images. If you do find them decked with ceremonies, if you do find them decked with ceremonies, with the statues of Caesar, the busts of Caesar, have been decorated with flowers. They've been encased in robes, cloaks. Remove all the decorations if they've been decked with ceremonies. Marullus, may we do so? Can we do that? You know, it is the feast of Lupercal. So the feast of Lupercal is one of the great festivals of Rome. It is no matter, says Flavius. Let no images be hung with Caesar's trophies. Let none of the busts and none of the statues be hung with Caesar's decorations. I will about and drive away the vulgar from the streets. I will now go about the streets of Rome and drive the vulgar. Vulgar is the lowest class. Drive them away from the streets. So do you do. Where you perceive them think, where they have gathered in great numbers, go to the middle and disperse the crowds. Right? Let them be sent home. Right? These growing feathers plucked from Caesar's will make you fly an ordinary pitch. So what we're doing is we're trying to discourage the pride of Caesar. If we disperse, if we make the crowd who have gone together, if we make the number of people who have gone together, even if we make them a bit smaller, if we make the number a bit smaller, then the pride of Caesar, now he's flying high, now he's very proud, okay? We will make him fly at a lower level, even if we disperse some of the people who come to greet him, right? So Caesar else would soar above the view of men. Caesar is so mighty, Caesar has achieved so much that he would soar. Soar means to glide upon the winds like an eagle. He would soar above the view of men. He's so mighty, he's so strong. And keep us all in servile fear from him. Caesar, what would he do? He's so mighty, he would make us all servile. Servile means like a servant, right? Bowed heads, right? And we'll be afraid of him. Right now, Caesar is like that. If we diminish the number of people who want to greet him, we'll make him fly at an ordinary pitch. Right? So that is the end of Act 1, Scene 1. Okay? So we'll stop there.